Well, well, oh dear. Now I've done it. Now I got a problem. I just jumped onto YouTube, which means I'm delayed, which means I can't look at myself or I'll get totally befuddled. But I'm not coming up. I'm not coming up. Oh dear. What's going on here? Now I've done it. Now I got a problem. I just jumped out onto YouTube, which means I'll get but I'm not. All right, I gotta get out of this whole thing. I just jumped out. Oh, goodness. All right, I gotta. All right. I think I'm back. Jeez, craziness. Yeah, give me a second. All right. Okay. I guess I made it. Lord. I guess it's the last minute jitters or something. Because I had everything together and ready and wholly organized until the last minute. And then I started pushing buttons and chaos ensued. But I guess we're back now. Am I live? Can you hear me? Are we there? I think I'm there. We got a bunch of people here already. Sorry about the confusion. I'm guessing that in time I'll figure all this stuff out and it'll get comfortable. Right now it's not at all. But I'm guessing I'm okay. Can you see me and hear me? Looking back, Carter, really. If you're not already following, da-da. Thank you, Zen. Hey, I'm back. Good. Thank God. All right. I got to figure this out if I want to do it, with any kind of regularity, which I definitely do. So I'll get it. I just need not to get crazy at the end and start pushing. Murphy's Law, Lord knows. Thank you, Mark. I don't know how great it is, but I'm doing it. Wonderful. Well, welcome everybody. It's nice to be back in the saddle, as it were. I so thoroughly enjoy doing this and enjoy the give and take that I'm seriously considering doing more of it. Uh, I think it may be my forte if I can figure out the technology that is. Uh, the online stuff, let me go share to where homies. By all means. Thank you. This is a piece that was collected locally a couple of months ago. We have a lot of construction going on down here, new housing construction and the like. And I have gnomes who go out in the dark of night on these construction sites and dig up fossils. I've got probably, certainly hundreds of pounds of fossils. And when they get something really nice like this, I never get to see it because they sell it to somebody for hundreds of dollars each. This one I got because it's got a little chip in the bottom, which I have a story that goes with it about how the megalodon bit into a giant turtle and it chipped his tooth. And there's the chip to prove it. See, that's proof. And that's really what I want to talk about today is proof. That is to say, I want to talk about the scientific method. Thank you, Zen. I do have a Patreon page. I haven't started posting to it, but I'm gonna. I just haven't figured out how to post uniquely to the Patreon page. But that's my goal, to post stuff there that's not going to be available on YouTube, and vice versa. I guess I don't really know. But things are changing here at Father Fish. I've got a new employee in who I'm looking to turn the shop over to. I'm in retail jail here, and it doesn't allow me to do a lot of the things I'd like to be able to do. So being able to get out from under this shop will be a real boon to me. Corey's done it. Corey's hardly ever in his shop. but then he's got a booming business. I have a busting business. My my shop is not booming. It's kind of the reverse of booming. It's sort of whimpering. I'm not. I'm in a resort community, and it's just not a good place for a pet shop or a fish store. Anyway, be that as it may, scientific method. Let's see. And let me back up here a little bit and just see if we've got any comments. Stress raise temperature to 86. Yes, absolutely high rise. And you know, as a matter of fact, very often it will show up as fungus. And the reason it does is because fungus follows bacteria. Bacteria follows injury. The parasite it creates an injury, which opens the door to parasitic infection, um, which which kills tissue, and the fungus grows on dead tissue. So the treatment is the same for all of it. Now, having said that, there are other conditions that temperature doesn't help a whole lot with. Um, I just had a breakout of columnaris, which wiped out an entire colony of 100 cardinal tetras. I finally treated it with triple sulfa, and it knocked it out in a day. It's amazing stuff. Works for me every single time. But by and large, 86 degrees is going to take care of an awful lot of problems. All right, I've backed up, and it looks like, without calling out everybody's name, I'm so happy to see all you guys. Yeah, did a restart, right? Okay, we're all here. We're all back. Let's see how many we got here. We got 28. 28 lined up. I was uh I was on with Biggs last night, and that was an absolute joy. And he was just as supportive of me as he possibly could be. It was so nice. You know, the man is the first person whose videos I ever watched. The mad aquarist. And it was, what's curious is it was his first attempt at doing a live cast, a live broadcast. He had 17 people on, and I was privileged and honored and delighted to be one of them. And he had heard about me, and had some awfully nice things to say about me, which came as a bit of a shock because I didn't realize that my voice was reaching into the heavens. YouTube speak, fish tube speaking. But he was very nice, and he's considering doing a regular live cast, which will be fun. He's a great personality and has a great deal to offer to the uh, to the conversation. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, I want to talk about the scientific method. Now, why do I want to talk about this? I want to talk about this to either get out of trouble or stay out of trouble. And that's really what the scientific method is for. It's a way of uh, of keeping the conversation rational. You know, it's not the scientific method doesn't need to take place in a laboratory. It takes place whenever two people are talking rationally, because it's really rational exercise. Now, it's different from the old Aristotelian rational conversation in which things were proved by arguing about them. In the scientific method, things are proved by testing. And there's the key, testing. This week, Aaron Price, who may be calling us a little later, I offered to bring him on by phone, and I'm hoping he does call. Let's see, he's here. I'm seeing his name. Aaron is here. If you were to call me, Aaron, we can talk live. I can put your phone on speaker, put my phone on speaker, and everybody will be able to hear our conversation. In any case, he introduced me to Dr. Novak, who's not been active posting for about a year, but I did manage to reach him. Um, and he was very kindly answered a couple of questions for me. Theories plus proof. That's right. Theories plus proof equals science. And he's doing that, and I'm doing that, and we're getting different results, which is fascinating. And he well, I don't want to infringe upon him by assuming that I know what he thinks. But let's simply take things at their basic level. He's talking about plenums. In the last conversation we had, you get voicemail. That's curious. It's because of, why is that? You get voicemail. I don't know. You shouldn't. Let's see if my line's open. Do. I don't know. Come. I may simply been out of the room at the moment you called. Try again. I'm right here, Aaron. Aaron said he called and got voicemail. Um, I'm right here looking at my phone. Let's see. Let's see if it rings through. I'm getting sidetracked here, and I want to stay focused, and I'm having a very difficult time doing it. We were talking about plenums, um, and I allowed us out. I really didn't understand much about them. I had a friend who was the head curator at Shed Aquarium, and he was absolutely committed to plenums. In fact, when he left there and set up his fish room, he had plenums in all of his tanks, or nearly all of his tanks, and he swore by them. What Novak is saying, Dr. Novak is saying, is that the plenum reduces, controls nitrates. Now, he has a second method for controlling nitrates, which is using what he calls crystallized cat litter. It's a form of cat litter sold in $3 bags. It's the red bag at Walmart. Um, I haven't tried it yet. I asked him if clay pottery would have the same effect, and he said no, that clay pottery is not crystalline structure, whereas that cat litter is. My response then to him was, how does it get that way? And I haven't gotten a response. So I'm curious as to what that's all about. But in any case, Dr. Novak's opposition to a deep sand bed is that it creates black rot. And I know exactly what he's talking about. Because when I started out doing this, I had black rot. And black rot kills plants, kills the roots. It's like poison in the substrate. What I realized, however, is that the reason that was occurring was not because it was anaerobic, but rather the opposite. It was occurring because oxygen was permeating into the enriched layer, if you will, and causing it to rot. It's what happens in a gravel tank. It's why you have to keep purging and cleaning out gravel tanks. If, however, you cap that enriched substrate with at least 2 inches of sand, then you create an anaerobic layer, that is, a layer that oxygen cannot permeate, which allows that layer to function in a normal way. My proof text for this is two things. Number one, if you dig out the substrate in a deep sand bed, and by that I mean 3 to 4 inches deep, at least 2 inches cap on top of the substrate. Hi guys, it's okay, not your fault. I'm online, but you're welcome to walk around and look around. Thank you, sir. You bet. Call me if you need me. If you get below that 2 inches where there's no oxygen permeating, you don't get that black rot. So my challenge to Dr. Novak would be to do a deep substrate that is greater than 2 inches down. He uses a canister filter in his system in order to provide filtration and a plenum in order to control nitrates. So, and I my sense is that both are needed. If you're going to do a deep substrate, which acts as a primary filter and controls waste, you still have not solved the problem of nitrates. Now, he developed a system putting cat litter in a filter box and setting it in his refugium and allowing water to pass through it, and that controls nitrates. So my test is going to be to put some of this cat litter on the top of my 2 inches of sand and track nitrates through that. If it works, it works. If it works in the system he's describing, it ought to work as a cap on the sand. So I'm capping the cap with a nitrate sponge, in effect. We'll see if that works. But I also want to try crushed pottery and see if that has the same effect. I'm not clear about the crystalline structure thing. I'm wondering if clay in and of itself, he claims it attracts the nitrate ion. If so, it could be the clay doing it. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. And I was hoping Aaron was going to be able to get through, but apparently he's not. So I won't be able to have that conversation with him. But he introduced me to Dr. Novak, and I found it fascinating. It certainly has opened a window and caused me to have much greater respect for my friend from Shed Aquarium. I wish he were alive to receive the accolades. I'm sure he's aware, however. Let's see. It brings one, then goes to. That's interesting. I don't know why that would be, unless my phone is somehow linked to the broadcast. I guess that's possible. I'm not getting calls. I wonder if I can place a call. Let's see if we can place a call. Let's see. Yeah, Eric, Texas. There's no number though. Yeah, there is.
Hey, Lou?
Yeah, we did it. I called you back.
Okay, cool.
Great. Now let's see.
Good fishy morning.
Good, well, good fishy morning. I've got my phone right alongside the microphone, so um, hopefully everybody can hear you. Nice. Did you pick up on the conversation or the discussion I've had up to this point about the whole issue of plenums and substrates?
Yeah, I've been following along, listening to you, and I can tell you it was confusing to me at first. It's taken months of, I've asked you several questions. I like to dig deep into how things work, and I've probably frustrated you a few times.
Yeah.
But that is just the way my brain works. These baskets that Dr. Novak has created
with the cat litter.
I don't pay much attention to those because those are designed for, like you said, a sump or an outdoor pond because he's real big into koi. But he does talk a lot about the plenums, and the reason he recommends them, and I've also been doing some research about denitrification on websites like Science Direct and those types of things. And there are several types of bacteria that will change nitrate. Some will change it into nitric gas, and others will change it back into ammonium, and kind of preserve that nitrogen in the system. What he's saying is that, and what I've read is that denitrification to nitric gas is actually not performed in an anaerobic zone. It's an anoxic zone, so
that makes sense.
Low oxygen, not no oxygen. But
that makes sense. He does say that. Novak does.
Yeah, that's where I learned it. And so by having the space underneath the gravel, usually just a gravel filter plate, you keep the electron pathway open so that the ammonium, the nitrates can flow down a little better, which causes oxygen to get a little lower. And by doing the denitrification in that low oxygen area, then you avoid the sulfide buildup and those types of things, and you have a little bigger area for more denitrifying bacteria. I love those deep sand beds. I think that they're beautiful, and I just love the look of a fully planted tank with a deep sand bed. And I've kind of tried to reason how is it working with what he's saying, and a lot of people say that the plant roots are generate a little bit of oxygen that kind of creates that anoxic area around them and neutralizes the sulfide and also allows more of the bacteria, the facultative bacteria that can survive in oxygen or no oxygen to do the denitrification. So I don't know if that all makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I've heard just the opposit about plant roots. Yeah. That the plant roots actually create an anaerobic environment.
I think it would be cool if you have another spare tank for you to kind of do a test with.
Yeah.
Like 4 inches of small gravel above a plate, and see for 3 months how it does.
Yeah, I also want to try the cat litter. Now, somebody just said the blue bag turns to mud. He talks about the red bag. So
yeah, but it says special kitty litter all natural. It's like a few bucks for a 20-pound bag at Walmart.
Yeah, it's cheap enough, certainly. Now, what about pottery? I mean, clay is clay, isn't it? Is it the clay that's doing it, or is it the way the clay is fired or somehow processed?
The clay works really good for the baskets because you're flowing water around them.
Right.
And so what he's wanting to do is the crystallized structure attracts the ions into the middle of the basket. But for a plenum, for an aquarium, that that clay kitty litter is super messy. You can rinse it 10 times and it's still gonna be dirty. So and there's Bob Bogowins. He's real big in marine aquariums, and he's the one who promotes plenums for marines.
Right.
I've read others, and you don't really need the clay for a plenum. You just need regular. You don't have to worry about the clay. But you could build one of the baskets and stick it in your aquarium, and as long as there's water flow around it, it should attract it.
Right.
Also.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was thinking about a way to do it using one of the little box filters, maybe, and putting clay in that, putting the cat litter in that.
Mm-hmm.
The issue, I asked Novak, and if clay pottery was the same as the cat litter, and he said no, that the clay pottery does not have the crystalline structure. So I asked him how that cat litter gets such a crystalline structure. I've not heard back from him. But do you have any theories about that, or about the possible use of crushed pottery, crushed unglazed clay pottery as a nitrate sponge?
I think that the way the kitty litter is made somehow does create that structure, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. I think that whatever you use on the bottom, as long as it's not too large, is okay. But for the baskets, I think that he said he's tested like 20 different mediums, and
right,
that's what he found works.
Okay, so I agree that the deep substrate, which I had assumed forever was controlling nitrates, does not, in fact, control nitrates. I wound
I
up.
think it does. I think it does.
Well, I've got 4 systems that have been deep substrate for years. We recently tested them, and they're all 4 very high in nitrates. Like,
okay.
very high. And we're just doing water changes now to bring that down. I had always assumed it did, because I'd always assumed that the plants were absorbing nitrates. I'm unclear about any of that now. And I'm curious because he's talking about a nitrate sponge. Now, I will say I've used nitrate sponges effectively in my saltwater tanks, and they're wonderful. So I'm considering something similar to that in my freshwater systems.
When I went out and saw Justin at Ocean's Aquarium, who also does the deep substrate, he does say that occasionally he takes chopsticks and pokes like a quarter to a third of his substrate to release the hydrogen sulfide.
Yeah.
Because he says if that builds up, then it will stop the denitrification from happening. And from what I was reading, based on sulfide, if the sulfide gets high, then more of the nitrate won't be released as gas, but will be converted back to ammonium. So it kind of is a cycle. So, that could be a possibility. Also, with what's happened over the years.
Yeah. I don't know. There was one other, as an aside, one other thing that came up. He was talking about laterite, which provides iron. It's a clay with iron. I've been using iron oxide in my mix. I asked him about that, and he was supportive. He felt that the iron oxide does provide the iron. So that was good news.
That's good to hear. That's good to know.
Well, yeah. we need to do more work on this.
It's like you said, it's always a maze, right? It's
always really.
We're learning.
It's true.
But I enjoy your videos. I'm learning a lot from you.
Well, thank you. I'm very much enjoying doing them, and I think it's just important to keep an open mind on all this stuff, because we all have ideas about what works and what doesn't work, and everything works for a while, uh, and then after a while, everything doesn't work. So it's a matter of constant testing and sharing, and the back and forth of forums like this that make it possible for us to get through the valleys and back on top of the mountain.
Yeah, and the thing, one of the things about plenums is because you need the flow, so that it doesn't become stopped up. Every 3 to 6 months, you do need to vacuum the gravel, so there's a little bit of maintenance involved. But because the facultative bacteria can live in oxygen, they'll stay in the aquarium and they won't die, and they'll quickly reform after the gravel is cleaned. So it's not as good for generating that rich substrate for the plants. You still need to maybe add some Seachem Flourish or something like that. But that's another difference. Just if anybody was thinking of trying it, to be aware of. It's not no maintenance.
Yeah, I
It's a lot
agree.
less
Yeah,
maintenance.
well, my in truth, nothing is. Nature is no maintenance, but then nature maintains itself.
We've got a little bit of bigger aquariums than we do to play with.
Yeah, really, and deeper. Right. Thank you, Aaron, very much. I appreciate your input.
Enjoyed it. Thanks, Lou.
You bet.
Take
Bye
care.
now. Bye bye. Well, that was fun. Glad I got through to him. I think this is the kind of thing that just most helpful is to be able to share and to be able to do it openly, um, and to be able to share aggressively, so without judging. Our judgment should all be in the area of results. We judge by the results. Um, so I'm going to continue doing the deep sand beds, but I really want to find a solution to this nitrate issue, and I'm hopeful that the red bag cat litter, the crystalline structure cat litter, can provide that kind of option. We'll see. I'm going to work on that, and I'll be keeping in touch. I will be doing an update a little later today on the 55. I was looking at it earlier, and it's. I think you'll appreciate what's happening. It's it's doing really really well. Let me back up now and see what I'm missing. Raw unbaked clay. Raw unbaked. Well, I don't know. He said that it's baked, but I don't know what that means. Raw unbaked clay is gonna melt. I mean, it's gonna soften and just be a mess in the water, I would assume. I don't think I missed a lot. Yeah. Aquarium Cop's talking about the kid settings. I think a lot of people don't understand the importance of selecting for that, and you wind up with videos that people can't comment on. I've run into a bunch of that as well. Aquarium Cop Protum Aquatics is talking about a video of guppy fry being born. I have a video on my channel of pygmy seahorse fry being born. You'll love that. That's really cool. The the vid is not wonderful. It's kind of jerky at the beginning, but if you hang in there with it, it's worth it. What else? Now my phone. Oh dear, New York Gold's phone's ringing. Right. I think I got everything here. Yeah, I think I did. Chappie is with us. Hi, Chappie. Thank you, Zen Ginger, for your constant help here. Let's see. Deep substrate. Yeah, the the microculture video has gotten over 500 views. Uh, I don't seem to be able to make anything go viral, but I'm happy with 500, given given where I'm at in the scheme of things. I think I hit 830 today, so I'm on my way. I'm hoping by the end of January I'll be at 1,000, and my my hours are going up too. I'm hitting about 100 hours a day now, so that's picked up considerably. Where else are we? And what time is it? It is 11:10. We got about 15 minutes. Thank you, Zen. How am I getting money from YouTube? How far are you? Am I from getting money? Well, I've got 830. My watch time is about 2.6. Um, I figure by February, uh, by the end of the month, I should be able to be monetized. I don't know how quickly YouTube does that. Um, but I'm going to be doing two things. I'm going to be selling online. We've been a little slow getting that together, but there's some real push to do it now. So I'll be doing some online product sales, and I do have a Patreon, which I want to set up and do, and I can do that with product or something as well. Um, anyway, I'm hoping by February I'll be monetized and be able to go from there. Let's see what else. How am I? Thank you, Alice K, for asking. I'm doing pretty well. I'm going in Friday morning for a catheterization. I've got some heart blockage, which I've known about for a little while. I had five-way bypass 8 years ago, um, and that's good. They say for eight to 10 years, and I'm starting to show some blockage. So I'm hoping that my veins have not turned into pretzels again like they did the first time, and they'll be able to get some sheaths in there and be able to open it up. So by the end of the day on Friday, I'll either be morbidly depressed or ecstatic, and I'm planning on ecstasy. So, so thank you for asking. My blood flow is lower than it should be, and it makes my it slows down my thinking process. Somebody made the comment a while back that they appreciate watching me at 1.5 speed, and my response was, I'd appreciate being able to think at 1.5 speed. They wouldn't need to do it, and that's kind of I think where I'm at. We'll see, but I'm very hopeful. They checked my cumin levels this morning, and it was way too high. So I got to start eating a lot of coleslaw today in the bar to get that down. Oh, where are we? Good luck. Thank you, Zen Ginger. What's up, guys?
No, I just want to let you know this pump right here is running dry.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Right here at the sump.
Okay, appreciate
I
it.
couldn't tell you that.
Yeah, I need
enjoyed
to.
it very much.
We need to refill it.
Yeah.
It's gotten the tank's gotten low.
Yeah.
Usually, what I do is just push the overflow down as far as it'll go.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll, yeah, I've got another inch or two on it. I
I
think.
got a top off and it's been wonderful. 'Cause I have a saltwater tank.
Yeah,
I
I've got top off some of my saltwater, right?
I play with like an inch of water in mine. I only have a 20-gallon sump for like a 150 tank.
They're wonderful, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've top off some of my sumps in the back as well.
I was
I-
over there, throwing 32-ounce drip cup in there every day. And
I can do that here. I could run it and close to it. I'd be running RO into it.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't really hurt anything, probably. It's a good idea. I'll think about it. Maybe I can do that.
I don't know if you want to take this cartridge.
I got the plumbing right there.
I think
We're
it's a
on
lot, but-
we're on live cast
Oh,
on
okay.
YouTube right now.
Okay.
If you
That's
want to
alright.
if you want to say hi,
It's-
nice to see you guys. The camera shy. It's okay. So, with the deep substrate, how's the nitrogen get down to the anaerobic layer if oxygen can't make it down to that layer? Mark Pyle, another smartass. Well, as it turns out, apparently the nitrate or nitrogen rather, nitrate. Nitrogen doesn't get down there. Nitrogen is released by the chemical action on the nitrates. But according to what I'm reading and understanding, the nitrates are broken down in an aerobic layer, not anaerobic. So they don't have to get into the anaerobic layer to be broken down. And the reason oxygen can't permeate is because of this. In sand, it's just such a slow flow that it's burned out by the time it gets down there. Whereas the nitrate would not necessarily be burned out. Although presumably it should be. It may be that the solution to this nitrate problem is to simply add another inch of sand. That's kind of been my my catch-all solution. It's like 86 degrees. I have two fixes for fish tanks, 86 degrees and another inch of sand. Those seem to be cure-alls. So maybe I'll try that and see if it makes a difference. That was fun, wasn't it? Susan's talking about the phone call conversation. That was cool. You know, it's something I miss being able to do in this format is to have that kind of conversation with people. And I'm certainly open to doing that. We can do a call in. I'm happy to get my number out there. Now, I don't know why he was not getting a ring through. I did call him back and it went through fine. So I just don't know. But Susan, if you want to call me, I think you've got my phone number. I can put it out there because I kind of want to do this anyway. Let me put my phone number out there. Oh, I'm running two computers here. I get confused about which mouse to use. 266-9998. Somebody want to call me? I'll see if it rings through. Let's see. Oops. So one minnow spawned today. What kind of minnow, Sister Lockwood? Kaylor's Aquatics. Mark Pyle. Ha. I know. Mark, I'm sorry. That was I was teasing you because that actually was an extremely insightful and borderline brilliant question. I won't give you brilliant yet, although you may well deserve it. It was not in any way intended to be a negative comment. It was actually a compliment, backhanded and upside down as it was. But I really, Mark, I really appreciated your comment very much. And I know it was a real question. And I'm sorry I called you a smartass. Let's see. How are we doing here? What time is it? 11:20. 11:20, is that right? Yeah, we got about 10 minutes. Mark's question. Thought it was SWAT. What was SWAT? Aquarium cop thought it was SWAT. Bob is confused, says Alice. Where's Bob? I can't find Bob. Then Ginger scared him off. What can I do for an egg-bound white cloud minnow? Egg-bound white cloud minnow. Well, a white cloud minnow is a little tiny. Massaging helps, but I wouldn't dare try to massage a white cloud or anything smaller than a foot long. Um, Try a little Epsom salts in the water. It seems to work wonders. I use it. There's a third curative, Epsom salts. Put them in a little separate container with a little dose of Epsom salts. See if that opens them up. You might also increase the temperature and add an inch of sand. Thank you, Mad Fish Diva. I appreciate it. I do too. White cloud minnows are so pretty. There's a new fancy one out, a long fin that cost an arm and a leg. Do-do-do-do. Smart ass, yeah, Aquarium Top says smart ass is a term of endearment. That's precisely the case. Denican. Alice is confused. Alice. They might pop soon to poop. The channel Kevin Novak. Yes, it is. That's Kevin Novak, Dr. Novak's channel. I wonder if anybody's trying to call. No. Graham Cop's phone number. Slam it. It wasn't your fault. How are you?
Oh, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. Just gonna take a peek around. Anything new, unique?
Always.
Always.
I'm
I
waiting
like it.
for a fish delivery
Okay.
right now. We're online.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to talk to some people?
No.
No.
Not me. All right, I'll let you get to it. I'm gonna take a peek
All right.
around.
Good. By all
Thanks,
means.
Lou.
Yeah. I've got a great fish delivery coming in today. I'm getting some calvus, big wild caught calvus, which I'm real excited about, and some of the oddball Malaysians. Malaysians? And some uh, 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 God, I can't think. Some pretty fish. I really do need that brain surgery. Two other female. Yeah, okay. Well, put them in. See if you can breed them. Sister Luckmo, see if you can breed them. Thank you for the invite. Where are we? Mugger says no problem. I'll work on the brilliant part. I don't think you have far to go, Mark. Yeah, you're a thoughtful guy, obviously. Oh, Danican, I did that. Easiest live culture food to keep. Interesting. Well, there are a couple of them actually. The very easiest one to keep is super, super, super worms. Um, you just keep them in a container of grain and they'll live forever. But another easy one is microworm culture. You have to keep up with it a little bit, but micro worm culture holds up pretty well. The one that holds up permanently is vinegar eels. You can put vinegar eels on a shelf, come back to them 10 years later, plop a little piece of apple in the jar, and they'll come right back strong as ever. They're kind of amazing. Let's see. Susan is lurking from her car. She said she would be. I talked to her last night. Aaron Price, Freshwater and Marine Aquarium Filtration, The Path Toward Camelot by Bob Gomans is the book I referred to. It has great chapters on deep sand beds and plenums, written for saltwater, but the principles apply to both, and they do absolutely. I really brought saltwater principles over to freshwater and have found that in fact, I found that the conversion from salt to fresh, and for that matter, fresh to salt, can be done simply by changing the water. That substrate, the substrate works for both. Don't try it unless you're willing to suffer the consequences, but I've done it and it works fine. I'm going to do an unboxing. I'm getting fish today and I will do an unboxing. It's going to be a really cool box. I'm real excited about it. Chevy Fish, customer, hi. Big J's. New brain as well. Maybe we could switch. You know what mine, Alice? Ginger. We're getting down to it here. Good. Okay. Well, I'm down to the bottom. We've answered all questions. We've had fun. It's been somewhat eventful, and I appreciate all you plugging in and being a part of this. Anybody else? Yes, I am going to make a video about the unboxing soon as it gets here. It probably won't get here till this afternoon. Hi, Ellen from Australia. Nice to have you with us. Sure are a lot of Aussie fish keepers. That's pretty interesting. There's some fish you guys have there I would love to have here, but like barramundi, can't get them. Everyone get your carotid checked. Yeah, I get mine checked every year. Consider becoming a patron. Thank you, Zen. Do I keep seahorses? I don't have any right now. I'm able to catch pygmies right out here in the bay, and I usually have a bunch of them. I've had trouble with my legs this year. Had hip surgery. I broke a hip, and then I had a knee replacement. So I'm not as strong as I would like to be. Makes it a little difficult getting out pushing a net, but I'm going for it. As soon as I get a little more blood in my system, I'm gonna be out there pushing it. Red Ginger, and you might be getting seahorses. I can get them and I can ship them. So let me know if you need a source. I can do that. Well, thank you all very much. This was great fun. Alien has a cute seahorse. They're all cute. They really are. God bless you all. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Sunday for sure. I'm thinking about doing more of these. I even thought about doing like a 1 hour in the morning um, every day, 5 days a week or so, as a way of checking in and maybe as a kind of an open forum for fish fan issues and concerns. If that rings a bell with you, let me know. Thinking about it. I need a little more technological help to do it successfully and effectively, but I think it would be a cool thing to do. Thank you, Susie. Appreciate you plugging in. I did this for you, by the way. You're the one who asked me to try to get on Tuesday or Wednesday. So stayed in the store for you and for my fish coming in today. Um, but I appreciate you and appreciate being here. God bless everybody. See you again soon. Thank you.